I will do I'll save the BS other stuff for the end.
Alright, well, I'm still live streaming, so no more after show talk. And countdowns for recording.
Yep. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're listening to The Secret Stage, a Scarlet Rhapsody podcast. Hey everyone, welcome to The Secret Stage. I'm Jared. Today, I have only one host. It's Miguel. How you doing, Miguel?
I'm doing good, Jared. Good to be back on after a 3-week or 4-week hiatus that I've been on because of life.
May has been crazy. Well, Mother's Day threw everything off for all of us, except for me.
Well, especially over on my end, because, You
got two moms.
Yeah.
And not two moms like his parents divorced, he has his mom, and then he has his wife mom.
Yeah.
Wife mom sounds weird.
Wife mom. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways.
Versus me, I had my birthday and all the craziness that came along with that. And I've been partying it up with trivia nights and watching the room and meeting Greg Sestero and stuff like that. So, yes, been a crazy couple weeks for all of us. Ramses is off at work right now, but that's okay. We're just going to do a news show like we did for Ramses last week. But first, real quick, we'll do a brief talk about what we've been playing. Miguel, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing a lot of games recently. Well, not really a lot of games. It's just been a few here and there games. I've been playing, let's see, my short list comes down to Adventure Capitalist from last time. I finally finished it, which really isn't that rewarding at all. I've played The Next Penelope, which I actually got a video review up, which I can give a quick brief on it later on, and picked up a couple of games off of Steam, which was on sale for the last few weeks. I picked up the game that I'm live streaming right now called Amazing Princess Sarah, another indie game that I am showcasing for you guys out there in Twitch and YouTube land. And I've finally finished Majora's Mask 3D Remake, and I've been playing more of the Final Fantasy Record Keeper.
Okay. That's actually a pretty good list. What's your overall feeling on Majora's Mask Remake?
It's pretty good. I've
Okay.
played through it. I've played the original, and there's places that they've changed about here and there, certain locations, certain characters, certain items, certain things. But other than that, it's been good.
All right. My list has been kind of crazy. I'm trying to remember just the big ones. Obviously, been playing a lot of Pokemon Shuffle. Of the 190 missions they have available right now, I have S-ranked all but 8. I have cleared and captured the Pokemon from every single one of the 21 extra missions, and I got the Banette Mega Stone from that event, and they're giving a second chance to get the Lucario Mega Stone, which I intend to capture. So, yeah, kicking massive amounts of ass in that game. I've been talking about doing a little tutorial video that could help people who get stuck on Mega Maval. I've been lackadaisical in doing that, but I will try to get that within the next week, folks. In addition to that, I have been playing Mega Man 9, and I must be a complete masochist because this game totally blows. It is the hardest Mega Man game I have ever played. It is not particularly rewarding, and I'm only going through it because of ego. And I've been playing it. I picked it up on the spring was Golden Week sale. It was available with Mega Man 10 for really cheap, and I grabbed it as part of my birthday gifts to myself, and it's one of those gifts I wish I could take back. This game I've been playing it for 2 weeks now. I haven't beaten all the Robot Masters because these levels are so poorly designed and such a pain in the ass to get through, and it just pisses me off.
Mega Man 9, right?
9, yeah. I've heard really good things about 10, and I've been considering just skipping directly ahead to 10, but my ego will not let me stop 9 until I beat it. Been playing more Atelier Aisha. Love this game. I'm getting closer to the end because I'm in the second year and have traveling to find these specific magical plants so I can learn more about the crystal flower. So it sounds all girly. It kind of is, but it's adorable anime girls killing monsters and saving the world. So fun. Yay. Been playing some Assassin's Creed 3. I got to where you switched from Nathan? First guy is Hatham. I went from Hatham Kenway to,
Connor
well, the guy
Kenway?
who will eventually be called Connor, but right now they're calling him crazy Indian name that I can't pronounce. And I got bored doing tutorials again. I was like, tutorials again? I'm gonna do something else. That's the problem with them switching characters partway through. It's like, here's some more tutorials of new crap you can do. And I'm like, I don't want to go through more tutorials. Don't worry, because eventually you'll get the boat tutorials. I'm like, good, more tutorials, excellent. I'm like halfway through this game and I just get more tutorials. But it's fun just running around Boston when you live in Boston. So that's kind of cool. And that's probably been making up the majority of stuff. I know there's a few minor things, a little bit of Super Robot Wars and stuff like that, but nothing I played on any kind of larger amount of time scale like those games. So that'd be my primary set. Oh, Super Mario Deluxe. I was playing some of that while waiting for the room screening. Because we were just sitting in line, because a lot of very popular screenings are sitting in line. I was like, I need to play something while sitting in line. Played Super Mario Deluxe, which is one of my free games I got with the closing of Club Nintendo. And it's Mario, but the weird cropped screen makes certain levels almost impossible to play, such as World 4-1, where you have Lakitu dropping the little spike dudes on you, which I don't remember the proper name for the spike dudes.
I think they're Lakuta? No, not Lakutas. They're Spinies.
Spinies. He's dropping the Spinies on you, but because the screen is cropped, I can't see where he is half the time. So it's basically these Spinies are just like falling like blindly, and it's really difficult to dodge them when you can't see them. You don't have that space of seeing them fall. And it's the major flaw of this game is just the weird screen cropping makes certain levels really difficult to play. Especially when you also what's cropped in where you're platforming and you don't know if there's a platform below you because of how it's cropped. It's really weird, but you know, it's just playing some old school Mario, and it's just kind of fun as a lark every once in a while. I need to go through and just kind of these cool challenge levels where you can find red coins and stuff like that are hidden in the stages. And I find that part actually a lot of fun, but I need to go and unlock more levels because when you use warp pipes, you don't get to unlock all the levels that you just bypassed. So you have to go through them one by one, which I'm like, oh god, this screen cropping, this will be a pain. But whatever, I'll get through it eventually. It's not like a huge priority to master a Mario game.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, as a minor just like life note, one of my birthday presents I picked up for myself was a larger SD card for my DS. So now I can actually download like real games and put them on my DS, which means I can start throwing in a few things that when they're digitally on sale, I can grab, as opposed to times where they were on sale before, and I was like, oh, I have like 1,000 blocks left, and this game needs like 6,000 blocks. I'm like, screw that! I have 90-some thousand blocks left. Bring it, games. If we can load this thing up with some new stuff and get me some Mario Kart on sale, I'm going to start blasting through some Mario Kart. But yeah, that's my game list, and we can kind of move on to the news.
Alrighty.
So, first I got to begin with a correction from our last episode. We were talking about Disney Infinity 3 and its Star Wars thing. We said it was a rumor. Yeah, the very next day, they posted the trailer. So, it's technically a correction, because we did say it was a rumor, but I couldn't have predicted that the next day they would drop the trailer. So, yeah, that happens. Yep. Let's do our TV movie news. Kind of, we always try to cover this. The major one that's come out, other than, you know, they're working on this or working on that, the major thing they've been talking about is a TV series based on Myst. It's in the works for Hulu. It's a script to series, so generally that means if the scripts are approved, they will make the series, and if they look over the scripts and they go, this is stupid, then the whole thing's been a waste of time for everyone involved, but they're not going to do casting or anything until script approval has happened. I don't think this project is going to work out, and here's why. The script is written by Evan, and here's his nickname according to my notes, Motherfucker. Don't know why I put that there, but it's Evan Motherfucker Duarte. He's the guy who wrote the TMNT reboot. He wrote the tween book Divergent. He didn't write the book, but he wrote the script for the Divergent movie based off the Tween book. And according to this, he is an absolute shithead hack writer. So I don't know. That's just what my notes say, so it's probably true. So yeah, the guy who did the TMNT reboot is writing the Myst TV series. I have no faith that this will ever come to fruition because of that. Guy is not talented enough to write himself out of a box. So yeah.
Especially with most of the material already there for him to use, right?
Yes. Well, here's the thing with Myst. If you're doing a prequel, there are novels written by the game's creators that fill in that whole backstory. So you literally could just adapt those novels if you wanted to, which would be an interesting story because that shows the worlds when they had live populations before, I think his name is Atris, and his family basically kind of screwed everyone over. But they started traveling to these worlds and polluting them horribly and destroying everything, and then making Atris having to... Atticus? Shit. It's been way too long since I played Myst to remember the main guy's name, but it caused him to have to seal away his kids and get the protagonist, which the player plays as, to come to the Isle of Mist and travel to the worlds and try to set things right. And then that gets told over multiple games of trying to fix all the problems his family caused. But if you do that whole backstory thing, that could be interesting, and technically Season 2 could be the fix the problems, take the plot from Myst and Riven and Exile and Revelations and kind of try to do that kind of a thing. You could, but you need a writer who has some form of talent to do that. And Duarte is not that guy. So.
Well, considering the fact that, TMNT was a flop.
Yeah. Well, because people looked at the really ugly previews of it and were like, And I think people are in this mistaken impression that Ninja Turtles has the popularity that it once had. Well, Transformers, because that's obviously what it's going to be compared to. Transformers there was a group of people who really wanted new Transformers. Because we haven't had any new Transformers in a long time leading up to that movie's release.
Yep.
We had the really shitty anime versions of Armada and stuff like that. So there wasn't anything that made us feel Transformers again. With Ninja Turtles, there's always been a constant stream of Ninja Turtles going down. Like the Fox series from the early 2000s was really well done. But then we've also had really terrible things, obviously, like Next Mutation. Although I've been told that that's not as bad when you go back to it. It's not as bad as you remember it being. And the Turtles music videos and weird stuff like that they did. But a lot of people who are our age go, you know what, we already have Ninja Turtle movies that I really like. It's called Ninja Turtles and Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. We don't need new Ninja Turtles movies. Because the CG TMNT failed, and then this one didn't do nearly as well as they wanted either. So there's kind of being a backlash here on Ninja Turtles, and part of it hurt that is that the script is really stupid, and they got a lot of bad press because of the stupid things they did with that script. And earlier versions of the script, of the aliens and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's also true for what Becky said. The Nickelodeon series was good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a few things people are like, what? But otherwise, it's been a pretty solid series.
Yeah. So there's not as much of a, hunger to see this. And I think that probably also hurt it. But, God, you can go online. You can find reviews. Plenty of reviews on TMNT and how flawed and terrible it is. Or if you want, the CinemaSins thing is actually really, really funny. I liked how they covered that. I recently watched it with my friend when I was down to my brother's wedding. And... it was just every few minutes we had to yell about something that made absolutely no sense.
For the TMNT.
For the remake, live action remake.
Yeah.
The CG one's okay. I watched the CG one, and I think immediately after watching the CG one, because I think the Turtles Forever had come out around that same time when the CG one came out on HBO or whatever. Turtles Forever came out, and we immediately went and watched Turtles Forever afterwards, and we're like, man, Turtles Forever is a way better animated Ninja Turtles movie than TMNT CG is. So, oh, by the way, folks, if you love the original Ninja Turtles cartoon, go watch Turtles Forever. It is awesome. It is the Ninja Turtles of the 80s, 90s cartoon teaming up with the Ninja Turtles of the 2000s cartoon, and an awesome ending that I don't even want to spoil as to who they team up with at the end of it, but it's freaking amazing.
Jared,
And I highly
I think the
recommend it.
statute of limitations on
Turtles Forever, which came out like 10 years ago.
Out for spoilers, so I think we can spoil it out.
Yes, for the 10-year-old thing, you can find on YouTube, folks. At the end, they team up with the original comic book Ninja Turtles with their weird little angular faces and stuff that they had. They team up the original, and the original have a great line
So,
where like
Jared,
Shredder was causing these problems.
So we'll finish this
We
thought
killed
real
it years
quick,
ago.
Jared, but we need to really
Yep.
get back and focus with video games
Right,
here.
right. So, Myst is gonna suck, but you know what also sucks? 3 companies from our childhood also slowly dying, and let's get into those right now. The first is Capcom. Capcom has announced that their focus right now is on HD remakes because Resident Evil has done really well and all the positive buzz about Devil May Cry 4. They're just going to focus on that right now because creating new original titles would require way too much effort if they don't have the words street or fighter in them.
Well, think about it. Look at how great the remakes for Kingdom Hearts has been for.
Yeah,
For Square.
what also works for Square's Kingdom Hearts things is that also includes it's not just, it's the multiple games. 1.5 has one Chain of Memories and something else in there. I can't remember what it is. And then 2 also has like 2, and it has whatever the PSP game was remade and something else. They're all made up of 3 games, which each game could easily run you 80 hours if you're going to go and try to get all the side quests and all the extra keyblades and stuff. So if you put together the sheer amount of time you get for those games, 3 times 80 is 240 hours. That's a good amount of time to be running through a RPG that you can get for the price of one game.
Yep.
And of course, Square does this because it's their excuse not to give us a Kingdom Hearts 3, which doesn't matter because I played one Kingdom Hearts game ever. It was Chain of Memories because someone else had it and said, "Hey, play this," and I said, "Okay." I was like, "Yeah, that was fun." So I don't know what the deal is with this girl, and I don't know what this Sora guy's deal is, but yeah, the card battle system's okay. Yeah, it's not bad. Wish I could have slightly better controls in this, but yeah. So I can't get hugely excited one way or the other when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, just because my lack of interaction with those games. But Capcom's smart for this, and there's games they have that they've never remade. Like, I love Resident Evil 2. It's probably my favorite of the entire Resident Evil franchise. Getting that with super spiffy graphics and a redone voice casting, because you could get what's his face to repraise Leon and get what's her face to replace Ada. And I don't know if they have a current Claire, but whoever the current Claire is could redo Claire. You could do that and actually make the audio a little bit nicer and fix some of the problems. It'd be a great game to see super revamped. Or even see the Onimushas get some redesigning. I love the Onimusha games. I'd pick those up on PS4 or something like that. Heck yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So Capcom's not stupid for doing this. It's just sad to see that they're kind of giving up on doing original work, or it's not a priority for them, I guess is what I should say. Because obviously Street Fighter V, obviously they'll eventually probably do another Marvel versus Capcom thing again, or something along those lines. They will do another versus game of some sort. Because those make way too much money for them not to do those. But it's just, that's what it's going to be, folks. It's going to be a handful of fighters and then remakes. For at least for the foreseeable future.
At least.
Which I guess I'm kind of fine with. That's better than them making terrible games based off their other franchises. I'll take hey, we're gonna do HD Mega Man X. I'll take that over no new Mega Man. Hypothetically, if they did Mega Man X in a remake. Ooh.
Hypothetically, they did make a Mega Man X remake. It's called Maverick Hunter.
Oh, that's true. That failed. So, never mind. Okay, give me Mega Man Zero HD. HD Saga. It has to be all 4 games. Mega Man 0, 1 through 4 HD, and I will be a happy boy. Throw in some voiceover, good voiceover, not the terrible Mega Man voiceover we always get. Get whoever voiced him for the Versus game.
It was Johnny Young Bosch that voiced him for the Versus game.
Hells yes, get Johnny Young Bosch in Mega Man Zero HD. Yes, 100%. So, okay, moving on to the next company in the slowly dying march is Sega. Sega has announced that they are pulling out of E3. They will have no booth, not a huge shock. They're not going to do E3 announcements. Also, again, not a huge shock. In addition, Sega is pulling. They ended up pulling 19 games from their apps, from various app stores, because they felt the games did not meet their standards. I like that as a general kind of thing. I think there's a lot of companies who could stand to pull some of their crappy titles from app stores. However, Sega, here's an idea. Just follow me on this. Instead of pulling bad games from app stores, just focus on making good games. Regardless if they're mobile, or they're on the DS, or they're on the Wii, or they're on the Xbox or the PlayStation. If you're going to make games, make good games, then you won't have to pull your bad games.
Yep.
You know, I'm not a genius here. I don't run my own game company. It's just an idea of making good products, and then people buy said good products. You know, it's just a thing I heard in one of my economics classes in high school. So I find that kind of sad, and you know, Sega's just wanting to focus on the mobile stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised if Sega's game division completely closes up shop within the next 5 years, and they just sell their bigger franchises to probably Nintendo. But it's one of those ones where by that time I hope I can have my own game company, because I'd like to buy Phantasy Star and Streets of Rage from them. And I will make new Phantasy Star and Streets of Rage games. Well, and by I mean my company. I'm not a programmer and I'm not a designer. I'm just a writer. So I would obviously need to hire a staff of trained developers. But if I could get a staff together and I had the monies, just make myself that Streets of Rage 4. Or New Streets of Rage, or whatever we'd end up calling it. Because I love me some side-scrolling. How hard is it to make a good Streets of Rage game? They just decided to stop after the Genesis was done. Like, side-scrollers, no one plays those anymore. Except for everyone who freaking loves side-scrollers. Hey Capcom, how did that side-scroller you made back in the 80s that you ended up doing an HD remaster of, the DuckTales, how well did that do when you made the HD remaster? Oh, it made you giant sacks of money, and now the creator of the DuckTales video game swims around in a vault like Scrooge McDuck? Oh, huh. Oh, people don't like side-scrollers anymore, huh? Yeah. Sega, come on. People like side-scrollers. Whew. God, I don't want to get onto Konami.
But we must.
But we must. So, if Capcom and Sega both have like a slight silver lining, there is no silver lining for Konami. Konami just gets worse. Okay, so the first big thing to bring up is the thing that pissed off a lot of people, is Konami saying, hey, we're going to give you, here's our announcement for the Metal Gear 1984 collection. And people are like, oh man, is this going to be like at least a wider release of the Legacy collection? Or is this just going to include like maybe a few new HD remakes? You know, we're going to get something like that? Nope, it's a crappy clothing line that no one's going to care about. Just has shirts and jackets that have the various squad logos.
It's a clothing line.
Yeah.
A clothing line.
Yep. It's not a clothing. Calling it a clothing line, I feel, is an insult to actual clothing lines, because essentially it's just shirts and jackets with the various Metal Gear Squad logos.
You know what? I can probably bootleg a whole bunch of those stuff for a lot cheaper than what Capcom will probably sell it for.
I've seen Fox Squad shirts at cons. You know, I've seen the Fox Squad. I've seen Foxhound, and I think I've seen whatever the badge they use for their Outer Heaven troops in whatever game finally touches on Outer Heaven.
4.
Is it 4?
No, not 4. It's the first one actually.
Yeah, technically the original Metal Gear does, but I thought Peace Walker or something also taps into Outer Heaven a little bit.
Peace Walker also has it. I think Metal Gear, the Phantom Pain has it too, because you know they are technically Outer Heaven at that point.
So I've seen several of the different squad logos. So when Konami's just doing this, I'm like, guys, you guys are way behind the times of doing this. And people were pissed online. They were like, hey, if you're gonna do an HD remaster of 1 and 2, of like not even solid, of just like classic 1 and 2, oh, how about like remastering 1 again? go grab Twin Snakes and HD that up, and you can listen to David Hayter and Cam Clark yell at each other. Or etc. All the various other things. Maybe this will be a remaster of Portable Ops or something. Who knows? Nope. Just logo tease. Have fun with that. It's basically Konami flipping the bird to the fans. Continuing on, their game division revenue has dropped by 71%, but company profits are actually up. One of the reasons for this is because company profits have been coming from pachinko machines and slot machines and stuff like that, while their games division just hasn't even been releasing all that many new titles. So it's not a huge surprise when you look at that from a logic perspective, but I think it's more sign that they just want to kill their game division off. They're like, now they can literally use that as a thing of when your profits are down, and they go, because we released 2 games last year. Yeah, when Metal Gear releases, our profits will go up. So what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But
That's
that
the
doesn't
sad thing
matter.
about it, though.
Yeah, it is very sad, and it doesn't matter because Konami is like, hey, we're going to focus on mobile games, just like Sega said. One of the theories I've heard on this, and I believe it was Mundane Matt who brought it up, but I think other people have been talking about this as well, that they're doing this essentially as kind of a, hey, we can't have, there's no illegal gambling in Japan, but on mobile devices we can kind of introduce people to pachinko, which is essentially gambling, and slot machines and stuff like that. And if we can make gambling popular in Japan, they'll legalize gambling, which we've been pushing for years, so that we can sell our slot machines here in Japan, as well as America and other countries. So that sounds very conspiracy theory to me, but I wouldn't put it past Konami when their big moneymakers are pachinko machines and slot machines and stuff like that. Why wouldn't you use mobile division to try to push those kinds of things? I'm going to get really pissed off when Metal Gear Slots is on the list, and I find out I have people I know online who bought Metal Gear Slots, because then I'll just have to beat them with a rock. No, not even a rock. It has to be even more primitive. Dinosaur bone. I will find a dinosaur bone, and I will hit them with a dinosaur bone. I'm going more primitive than rock, folks. That's how pissed I'd be at someone who did that. And that's still not the end, because Miguel, you were telling me that a video got taken down by Konami.
Yep. All because it's a video about dealings with Konami and Kojima and how the whole fallout happened.
And they removed it for what did they say?
Something like
Yeah,
that.
a little bit of game footage that was on there.
29 seconds.
Yeah, 29 seconds of game footage that was on there. They had it taken down because, God forbid, someone criticized Konami for making really stupid decisions like they've been making. And also, yeah, folks, there's even more. Some systems, although I think the patch might be out by now, some PS4s were getting bricked, or bricked to an extent, when PT was removed because it had license removal issues that was causing some problems with locking out game libraries and what have you. So, yeah, it's just one thing after another of Konami, and